Hello, my friends. Welcome back to this next part of our book, Dolphins at Daybreak. Now, where we left off yesterday, we read the 2 chapters and we're looking for something. Do you remember the riddle? Something that is rough and gray as rock. I'm plain as plain can be. But hidden deep inside, there's great beauty in me. What am I? Remember, we're looking for whatever that riddle is about. So maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. That's where we just left off. And we left off where Annie and Jack go into the submarine, the mini sub, and it took off. I have no idea what's going to happen next, but that is where we left off. Now, before I start reading, I'm going to remind you, you must be in your quiet learning space. I don't want there to be any distractions around you. It must be. Now, before I start with chapter number 3, I want us to keep in mind what we're looking for. We are trying to find something that's hard like a rock and gray like rock, but there's beauty inside. I wonder what that could mean. Why don't you keep your ears open for the mysterious object? All right, chapter 3 is called Mini Sub. You've really done it now, Annie, said Jack. Sorry, but look out the window, Annie said. Look. Forget it. We have to figure this out. Jack stared at the computer. He saw a row of pictures at the top of the screen. What did you do? He asked. I just pressed the on button, said Annie. Here are all the buttons at the top of the screen inside the mini sub. One looks like a starfish. That looks like a book, maybe. This looks like a wave. I don't know, a mountain? I don't know. We'll see what they do. The screen lit up, and I pressed the starfish. That must be the command to go under the water, said Jack. Well, yeah, then the map came on, said Annie. Okay, the map shows the reef, said Jack. Look, there's the mini sub on the map. It's moving away from the reef. It's like a video game, said Annie. I bet I know what to do. Annie pressed a key with an arrow pointing to the right. The mini sub on the screen moved to the right. The real mini sub turned to the right also. Great, Jack said with relief. You press the arrows to steer the mini sub. So now we can go back. Oh, no, not right away, said Annie. It's so beautiful down here. We have to get back to the reef, said Jack. His eyes were still glued to the computer screen. What if the owners come to find it and find it's gone? Look out the window, said Annie. Just for one teeny tiny second. Jack sighed. He pushed his glasses into place and looked up. Oh, man, he said softly. Outside the glass was a strange world of bright, moving color. It looked like another planet. The mini sub was moving past red, yellow, and blue coral, past little coral mountains, valleys, and caves, past fishes of every color and size. Can't we stay a little while? The answer to Morgan's riddle must be here, said Annie. Jack nodded slowly. She might be right, he thought. Besides, when would they ever get to visit a place like this again? As you can see, my friends, you can see fish. These are coral right here. You can see the different types of coral. And then there's Annie and Jack, and they're in the mini sub. Very cool. That is the end of chapter 3, and I'm going to continue on with chapter 4. Chapter 4 is called Fish City. There were fish everywhere, floating over the swaying seagrass, eating on the white sandy bottom, peeping out of coral caves. Some kinds of coral look like blue fingers or lacy fans. Others looked like deer antlers or lettuce leaves or mushrooms or even trees. Jack read in the book, coral reefs are only found in warm, tropical waters. Nearly 5,000 different species of fish live around coral reefs in the Indian and Pacific Oceans. Jack pulled out his pencil and notebook, and he started to write down a list. Coral reef research. Well, coral reefs like to live in warm water, and there are over 5,000 kinds of fish. Whew. Friends, do we think maybe Nemo fish is there? And the Dory fish? I don't know. We'll have to look that up later. Look, said Annie. The sub floated past a huge starfish, then a pink jellyfish, then a blue seahorse. Jack added to his list, starfish, jellyfish, seahorses. What is that? Said Annie. Jack saw a creature that looked like a giant pancake with a long tail. A stingray, said Jack. He put that on the list as well. And that, said Annie. She pointed to the biggest shell Jack had ever seen. It was as big as a footstool. Jeez. I'll have to check on that one, said Jack. He turned the pages of the ocean book. When he got to the page about clams, he read aloud. The giant clam of the coral reef is 30 feet wide and weighs up to 200 pounds. Oh my gosh. Wow, said Annie. No kidding, said Jack. He added giant clam to his list. Dolphins! Cried Annie. Jack looked up. 2 dolphins were peering into the window. They tapped their noses on the glass. Their eyes were bright. They seemed to be smiling. Jack laughed. It's like we're in a fish tank. They're looking at us, he said. Their names are Suki and Sam, said Annie, sister and brother. You're nuts, said Jack. Here's a kiss for you, Suki, Annie said. She pressed her lips together to the glass as if she were kissing the dolphin's nose. Oh, brother, said Jack. But the dolphin opened her mouth and tossed her head. She seemed to be laughing. Hey, I know the answer to the riddle. Dolphins, said Annie. They're gray and plain, but they have great beauty inside. Here you can see Annie kissing the dolphins. Wow. And then you can see all the different types of coral down here. You can maybe even see some fish. Very cool. You forgot the rough as a rock part, said Jack. Dolphin skin looks smooth and slippery. Oh, right, said Annie. The dolphins flipped their tail. They swam off into the light blue water. Wait, don't go, called Annie. Suki! But the dolphins were gone. It's time for us to go, too, said Jack. He was afraid someone might be looking for the mini-sub. But we haven't solved the riddle, said Annie. Jack studied the bright underwater world. I don't see the answer, he said. There's nothing plain out at all out here. Then maybe the answer's in the mini-sub, said Annie. They looked around the tiny space. I'll check the computer, said Jack. He studied the rows of pictures at the top of the screen. He pressed the book picture. The words ship log flashed onto the screen. This is the button that Jack pushed. And my friends, that is the end to chapter 4. Very cool. So we found out that dolphin is not the answer to the riddle because they have smooth skin. We're looking for something that is rough and plain gray, but beautiful on the inside. We still haven't figured it out. However, maybe we can learn about some fish in the coral reefs or some corals. I don't know. Why don't we check out science and under the science and seesaw? Maybe we'll find out.